What up, though, Pistons fans? Welcome back to another episode. So, you guys know I usually shoot recorded videos following games, but I'm sure you guys know by now that the Pistons moved their game up today to 4 p.m. To accommodate the Detroit Lions because the Lions are playing their divisional playoff game tonight against the Washington Commanders. So I still did want to come out here and get you guys a quick Pistons recap of today's game. But it's just going to be a little bit shorter because I got to get ready for the Lions game and Lions content and all that good stuff as well. So we're doing double duty, right? Okay, so I'm going to give you guys my thoughts on this game and make sure you guys give me your thoughts in this game as well. What's going on, everybody? Appreciate you guys showing up. Josh, what's good? Entertaining game. This was an annoying game. It was entertaining, but it was annoying. I'm going to explain why I thought it was annoying. Ryan, disappointing L. Too many one-on-ones with no off-ball movement. Yeah, that was one of the many things I saw too tonight, Ryan. Appreciate you guys showing up as always. Ray couldn't get any rebounds. That was pretty much the story. Need to start and Ron to get off the three-point line and be in motion on offense. I'm going to take a few of you guys' comments while we wait for everybody to get in here. Ryan, need to start and Ron to get off the three-point line and be in motion on offense. With the athleticism, it should cause more havoc. That's a good point, too. I do have a different take on that. I agree with you, but I'll just say I'll add on to that as far as what I think the Pistons should be doing with both of those guys, especially considering that they're working on the three-point shot with Fred Vincent. All right. So, man, oh man, this was a game the Pistons should have won. The Pistons should have won this game. I'm not taking anything away from Phoenix, right? They played a solid enough game to win this game. But the Pistons had their chances for sure. Man, so many missed opportunities. So many times they shot themselves in the foot. And that's what young teams do sometimes. You know, sometimes young teams win the games they're supposed to win and lose the games they're not supposed to lose. Or, I'm sorry, they win the games they're not supposed to win and they lose the games they are supposed to win. So that's just something we have to live with here. Being a Pistons fan is those up and downs, those peaks and valleys, right? The growing pains, and we're seeing them game by game. Josh says Sass is a dog. Yes, he is, and Sass is starting to really get into his rhythm a little bit, which I like to see as well. So let's get into it, man. I only got about a half hour, maybe even less than that, before the Lions content really starts to get moving. So, initial thoughts. So tonight, first of all, Bradley Beal didn't play. Bradley Beal was out tonight. And with that, I thought it gave the Pistons a really good opportunity to bounce back, you know, after that tough loss they had against the Pacers a couple of days ago. And the energy was good at LCA. You know, there was a lot of Honolulu Blue in the building, a lot of Lions fans who were in attendance. Many of them are likely on their way right now to Ford Field as we speak, because that game starts at 8 p.m. and it's about 6:45 EST right now. As far as the game, though, solid energy, right? The energy was good to start. You know, they didn't get punched in the mouth or anything like that. They pretty much played with pace, played to their style of basketball, which was good to see. This was a back and forth game for most of the game. Neither team could really pull away. You know, it was pretty much a back and forth game, pretty much nip tuck, pretty much the whole game. I think the biggest lead for Phoenix was 7, and the Pistons, I'm not sure, but no team had a double-digit lead, I don't think, this game. So it was very highly contested matchup with two evenly matched teams, considering who was missing. Sasser should get the start over Asar. Nah, you can't do that because Asar gives you too much defensively. If it's a domino effect with that, bro. Like if you start Sasser, that means Tim Hardaway 3 has to go back to the 3. Absolutely not. Tim Hardaway 3 has been playing so much better at the 2 spot. If you put Sasser in the backcourt, you're making your backcourt smaller and you're making your front court smaller, because now you're making one of your backcourt guys play the 3 and he's going to be outmatched. He's going to be outsized. He's going to be, you know, that's just not a good look. And that makes it harder for him, especially come second half, all that bumping, you know, from those bigger guys that he's having to guard. That affects your legs, which affects your shot. And we need him making shots down the stretch, and which he had a chance to do late in this game, right? You know, the free throws he missed and things like that. That was a huge part. But it wasn't just that. The Pistons made a lot of mistakes in this game. Tech got to go. We're going to get to that, bro. We're going to get to Fontecchio and everybody else individually. Kate was sluggish tonight, missing Ivy's explosiveness, and then Tech pump fake 3, Slee missed, pissed me off. So I hope you guys, a few streams ago, I told you guys that Jaden Ivey is missed. Jaden Ivey is definitely missed. I think somebody actually asked, are we better off without him? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And once again, what I said in the last stream was just watch how the offense looks when Cade goes to the bench, right? Because whenever he goes to the bench, normally when Jaden is healthy, Jaden slides to the 1. And now you can have Beasley or THJ or Sasser at the 2. Jaden is the only other player other than Cade that you can trust to run your offense successfully, consistently. So when he's not there, that means Cade needs to play more minutes, which means he's going to be tired late in games, which is what we saw again tonight. So Jaden's presence really is felt because you see how the offense just stagnates when he is not here. You see how the Pistons have to try to play point guard by committee when Jaden is not here, whether it's Saz, who's still learning. He played a good game tonight. And I'm proud that he did. He's progressing, but it's not consistent yet. So you either got to have Saz at point, or you got to have Beasley at point, or you got to have Tim Hardaway Jr. at point, or you got to try to run the offense through Tobias Harris in the post or something like that, right? But there is no point guard, is my point. And that is exactly why Jaden Ivey has missed so much, right? Sometimes when you miss a guy, that's when you really appreciate him, when you see the void that he leaves. So not to stay too much on that, but I just really want you guys to understand how important he is to this team. If he plays tonight, we don't lose this game. We have so many lulls in this game when Cade will go out. And that doesn't happen if Jaden is healthy. So I can't wait for him to get back. We need him back as soon as he can get back. Obviously, we don't want to rush him back for personal reasons. I want to see him just take his time. But the sooner the better for the betterment of this Pistons team. All right, let's take out a few more comments and then we'll get to the individual guys. Tech was an absentee, and I'm getting irritated that we don't see Klintman taking those minutes at a minimum. 100%. 100%. I either want to, if it's Klintman, if it's B-Ball Paul, I just want to see somebody other than Fonseca right now. I'm going to get into that in a second. Reed should take Tech's minutes right now, like this game, like going forward. Me too. I hope they don't mess up Bobby's career by not playing him. He's better than Tech, just from what I saw. 100%. I said the same thing. I've been wanting to see him since October. Whenever Summer League ended and the regular season or preseason was getting ready to begin, I wanted to see him. You can just see that he has a lot of ability that can help this Pistons, especially off the bench, if you want to start him off the bench. I got to remind myself that this team is still work in progress, but still stings. Yes, 100%. 100%. 100%. It's hard not to be happy with where we are based on where we were last year, but we got to make sure we keep it in perspective. We can't get too high just because we were so low. We got to be realistic with our expectations right now. A few more, then we'll get to the box score. Klintman, what is JB's issue? And I'm loving JB, but damn, give him a minute. Yeah, I know, bro. It was a few mistakes tonight made by JB. It was that. I don't know why he waited so long to put K back in the game. I know he tried to get him off the bench with about 4 or 5 minutes left. But if time is continuing to tick, in the words of Chris Berman, and you don't get a foul or you don't get a dead ball, once he gets to 3 minutes and you're not, and the lead is starting to get bigger and bigger, just call a timeout. Like, what are you saving it for? At that point, you just got to call it. You got to call it. You can't wait until 2 minutes left in the game when the Pistons are down by 4 to put Cade in the game. You got to call that timeout. You got to burn it. Even if it means you won't have one later in the game. You can't take him with you. So if you're down by 5, 6 late in the game, when the game is over, a timeout doesn't help you. So it's like at some point you got to just call it and get your guys in the game and not just wait for the dead ball. I was like, why isn't Cade in the game? Why isn't he in the game? And time just continued to pass. So that was frustrating for me. I think that was a big part of why we gave this game away. But yeah, that was big. Yeah. So Devin, I usually do recorded videos, but tonight, because since the Lions are playing, I got to do double duty. So we're doing this tonight. I just talked about that. Rewind like 5 minutes, Devin. You'll see. I was just talking about that. Great minds. 12 minutes free throw. Okay. All right, guys. So, like I mentioned, this was definitely a game the Pistons should have won, in my opinion. We're going to start with Cade. Let's get to the box. And then we'll go from there and then we'll wrap it up. Okay. So, as far as the box tonight with our guys, Cade had 20 points, 11 assists, 6 boards, 1 steal, 1 block, 4 turnovers, 7 of 26. Sheesh, he struggled tonight with his shot. 35 minutes. So Cade, man, this is what I want to say about Cade. The last 2 games, he has not shot it well. 7 for 21 last game, I think. 7 for 26 this game. So 33 and 20% basically the last 2 games. He's been struggling with this shot. And not to make excuses, right? But Cade has a big plate. And it's a lot on it. It's a lot on it. Tonight, and not even just tonight, but just in general, he has to do so much for this basketball team, especially once again, like Devin mentioned, with J.I. being out. He has to set the offense up for others. He has to look to be aggressive for himself. And he has to defend KD, one of the best scorers in the history of basketball. And tonight, he did a solid job. I say solid because he didn't shoot it well, but as a whole, he did a solid job of doing all three. That's a lot to ask of anybody. You know, he's one of those rare guys in the league that has the ability to do all three of those things, right? Set up his teammates, get his own offense, and defend the best player. How many guys at the three can do? How many guys can do all three of those things in the league? Right now in the NBA, how many guys can you count on one hand that can do all three of those things? It's not too many of them. So I'm not making an excuse for him, but when you just think about it, Cade is not just an offensive hub who doesn't play defense like a Luka. He's not a 3-and-D specialist, right? But he's a complete basketball player. And sometimes when you're asked to do so much, you're not going to do everything perfectly because you still have to worry about conserving your energy. Guarding Kevin Durant is a tall task, no pun intended, for anybody, right? So when you got to do that, expend so much energy there, and then have the mental and physical energy to still make sure on offense that you're getting other guys involved, that they make sure everybody's eating, nobody is being neglected offensively. And then, oh yeah, I got to get my own buckets too. That's a lot. That's a lot, man. That's a lot. And once again, J.I. So I've talked about it already, but you understand what I'm saying. Okay. So you know, he didn't play terrible. He played a solid game. He did a lot. He did a lot for this team, but it just wasn't enough in the end. The Pistons needed to get a little bit more help. They didn't get it tonight. So let's go to everybody else. So let's check out the rest of the team. Okay, so let's go to Tobias Harris, man. Tobias Harris actually played one of his best games as a Piston to me tonight. He had 21 points, 5 boards, 2 assists, 1 block, 9 of 15 shooting, 2 of 5 from 3, 37 minutes. Tobias Harris did it all tonight, man. He did it all tonight. He even did his best Tim Hardaway impression to start the game. He got the Pistons' first 8 points, including back-to-back threes. Right? He had a third one, but he was trying to hit 3 back-to-back like Tim, but he misses the third one. But he got the Pistons out to a great start with the scoring, right? But he also kept the Pistons in the game when Kate went to the bench. We talked about how the offense struggles when J.I. goes to the bench, and tonight he was able to be the offensive hub. He was able to get buckets. He was able to post. He was able to make passes out of double team. Like, he was able to do a lot of different things tonight. I don't know if I want to see that consistently because I don't think he is that kind of scorer to where you can rely on that every single game. But tonight it worked. And even defensively, man, he mixed it up in the paint too. You know, he played good team defense. He was strong on the boards. He did a little bit of everything tonight, man. And the Pistons needed it because this was a game when the Pistons were really just trying to keep their head afloat and just keep up with Phoenix because we know those two guys over there, Devin Booker and Kevin Durant, are monsters. They're monsters. KD had 36, Booker had 35. So they had more than half their points, just the two of them. And they both shot 50%. KD shot 13-27 and Book shot 11 for 22. So if it's tough. It's tough because the problem for them was they let the bench get, man, Nick Richards has 21 points off the bench. 7 for 8 shooting. That can't happen. Those Malik Beasley type numbers. So if they could have just held KD and Booker in check and let the rest of the team let Kevin Durant and Booker go off and keep the rest of the team under wraps, keep them contained, they could have won this game. But you can't give up 21 points off the bench. But Tobias played one of his best games, for sure. For sure. I was happy to see him step up. We needed that, and he did his thing. Let's see. I love beef stew, but my endurance, hands, athleticism, and ability to rebound and finish at the basket was missing down the stretch. Yeah, that's a good point, bro. I agree with that. Pistons don't play. They seem to play better on the road, don't they? We might go in a losing streak soon, unfortunately. I still think another amount of trade will happen. They're just being smart. So look, Devin, I'm glad you said that because even though this loss was annoying, keep this in mind. The Pistons haven't lost back-to-back games. This is the first time they've lost 2 straight. They lost to the Indiana and they just lost to the Suns. They hadn't lost 2 straight in over a month and a half, believe it or not. Going back to December 3rd when they lost to the Bucks and then they lost to the Celtics. Right? That's the last time they've lost 2 straight games. So that's encouraging. So they are getting better. The Pistons are getting better, and they're showing consistency of being a better team, but they have to win the games they're supposed to win. Devin made a great point. There's maybe a losing streak soon because off the top of my head, I know we have to play Houston on the road next game. And Houston right now is cooking. They're second in the West, and those guys are looking really confident, and the defense is looking really, really good right now. So this is going to be a tough game coming up on the road. And after losing 2 straight, it's going to be tough to dig ourselves out of this hole. I think we can win this game, but it's going to be important that we play much better than we did tonight. 100%. Okay, so let's get to the rest of the guys, and then we'll call it a night. Asar Thompson had a very quiet night. 6 points, 4 boards. That's pretty much it. 6 points, 4 boards, 2 of 5 shooting, or 2 from 3, 2 of 4 from the free throw line, 19 minutes. So Asar has been struggling offensively. He's kind of right now. He doesn't seem comfortable. He's just kind of just out there. He's playing solid defense, but he's not as impactful as he was in previous weeks. And I think a big part of it is his jump shot. I think he's lost confidence in his jump shot. He doesn't seem confident, and I think what's adding to that lack of confidence is how open he finds himself. He's seeing that other teams don't respect his jump shot. And for me, because what we've seen in the past is when they give him the open 3, he tries to bulldoze his way into the paint, right to where they want him to come to and draw offensive fouls or turnovers, things like that. I want to see him shoot the ball, right? I want to see him shoot the ball. If you're open, shoot it. The same thing I say about Fontecchio. If you're open, shoot it, because you have to at least be a threat. If you don't shoot the ball, they're just going to pack the paint, and that means less and less space for Cade to operate. And that's not what you want. That's not what you want, right? So whether it's him, whether it's Ron Holland, whether it's Fontecchio, if you're open, you have to at least shoot it. I'm going to live with nights like this when he goes 0 for 2. I'm going to live with that because you at least have to be a threat. Now, that doesn't mean take 6 3-pointers if you're open, but if you're open, and you take 2 or 3 a game, shoot them. That's why you're working with Fred Vincent. That's the whole point. The point is to get you to a place to where you're comfortable enough on the floor to shoot those shots and make them, right? And if you don't shoot them consistently in the game, you're never going to get into a comfort zone. So you got to shoot the ball, whether it switches or whether air balls. Just shoot it. Just be a threat. Just show them that you're not afraid to shoot the ball. We're going to get to Ron Holland because he has a little bit of a different approach when it comes to that. But Asar struggled, so I want to see him continue to just stay confident in his jump shot. Who else we got? Tim Hardaway Jr., man. Okay, he has 12 points, 2 boards, on 3 of 9 shooting, 2 of 6 from 3-point. Here's the most important thing. 4 of 6 from the free throw line. So overall, and I'm going to come back to that. Overall, Tim played solid. He played solid. He didn't have a great game, but he was solid defensively. He was giving us effort on the defensive end, chasing D Book around all night. I mean, it didn't do a ton because he finished with 36, but he made him work for everything. He was hounding him all game, making him work. But down the stretch, he did make some big threes in this game. He made some big shots in this game when the Pistons needed it, but he just was not able to capitalize at the end of the game when we needed him. We needed him at the end of the game as a veteran. We were down 4 points with about 20 seconds left, and he got fouled on the 3 by Devin Booker. And he missed 2 of those 3 free throws. Can't happen. Cannot happen. You just can't. You cannot miss as a veteran. And it doesn't all come down to those free throws. I understand that. But as a veteran, when you're at home, you can't shoot yourself in the foot like that if you want to win basketball games. You got to make plays. You have to do the little things. You have to be sound on both ends of the floor. You can't shoot yourself in the foot. So when you're down 4, fouled in the 3, you got 3 free throws. You at the very least, have to make 2. At the very least, because you have to keep it a 1 possession game. So to miss 2 out of 3, it just can't happen. That was very disappointing. That was hard to watch. I know the pressure's on, but once again, we're not talking about Ron Holland, somebody who's a rookie, somebody who's missed free throws in the clutch before, right? We're not talking about that. We're talking about a vet who's been there, done that, who's been to the finals. And I love Timmy. Y'all know I love Timmy, but I gotta call like I see it. You can't do that. You have to make your free throws down the stretch, man. And you have to secure the basketballs. Thank you, Sean. I was just about to say this. As far as shooting yourselves in the foot, missing free throws, and giving up offensive rebounds. You know how demoralizing it is to play a great defensive possession as a team, get a stop, and you can't secure the ball, and they get a 3 out of that? That is demoralizing. That can affect you for the rest of the game because you already expended so much energy on that one play, and you still gave up the worst result. You have to secure the basketball, man. Whether you're in the switch, whether your big is out on the perimeter, that means everybody should be crashing the board when the ball goes up. You know what I'm saying? If JD is on the perimeter contesting a shot, or Stu's on the perimeter contesting a shot, everybody should be going to the hoop. Every Piston should be going to the boards. Nobody leaking out for easy outlet pass. No. Everybody should be crashing the boards and understanding our biggest guy on the floor can't get the rebound. So it's going to have to be one of us. Everybody should go to the boards. And that didn't happen tonight. Didn't happen tonight. And that resulted in the Pistons giving up so many offensive rebounds, so many putbacks. KD got fouled. We'll get to that. I'll save that. I'll wait for the individual player to get to that. Okay, so let's move on. Let's get to JD, our last starter. JD had 15 points, 10 boards, 2 assists, 1 turnover on 5 for 9 shooting, 5 of 6 from the free throw line in 25 minutes. So first things first, I want to say this again. I said it last game. JD, as of late, has been knocking down his free throws. He has been knocking down his free throws. He started off the season terribly. I think he was in the 50s to start. At the end of the last season, I think he was at low 70%, low 70s. So he started the season off terribly shooting free throws. But lately, the last week or two, he's been knocking them down at about 80%. 80%. So I got to give a shout out to him for that. He has been focusing on doing that, and he's been getting incrementally better. He was just in foul trouble tonight. He made some mental mistakes. He got caught in the air a lot. He was caught out of position a lot. You know, he didn't seem all the way locked in tonight. He was trying. It seemed like he was trying, but he just was not locked in for the entire game like he was last game, for example. But I'm not going to take anything away from him. He did play solid, double, 15 to 10. But it's just certain plays and certain moments I would just want to see him continue to improve and giving up offensive boards. Allowing Nick Richards to score 21 points, can't do it off the bench. Can't do it, you know. That just can't happen. And most of his points, well, not most, but a third of his points came from the free throw line. Nick Richards, he had 21 points overall, 7 of 9 from the free throw line. So 11 boards. So he had a 20-10 double off the bench. Can't happen. Can't happen. Especially when KD has 36 and Book has 35. Can't happen. So that was another big piece of why the Pistons were not able to close the door on this game. Despite all those things I just mentioned, the Pistons still lost by 4. So they had so many opportunities to win this game. Once again, young teams. That's what young teams do. That's what young teams do. I hate to talk about it, but we don't get the same respect. Bumps and brushes going to the basket for the refs. The disrespect irritates the hell. Yeah, that's a great point too, Broderick. So many calls that K did not get when he was getting pushed to the floor, getting bumped, that I was saying to myself, if this was reversed, if that was KD on the floor, every single time. You're right. We do not get the respect that we deserve. But once again, the Pistons just started winning. They just started winning. It's going to take time to get that same level of respect. And it's going to take time because we're now just beginning to see and develop our own superstar. KD's been a superstar for I don't know how long. Same with D-Book. Not quite as long, but those guys are established superstars in this league. And it's well known around the league. So it's going to take time for the Pistons as a team and for K individually, unfortunately, to get that respect. I think come next year, there's always a delay. But we see it first because we watch these guys. Come next year, he'll get more calls because the Pistons will win more games and K will start to become known as a budding superstar in his league. So I'm with you, Broderick. It's just going to take time, unfortunately. We just gotta not worry about the fouls, play through the fouls, don't look for foul calls, and win some games. At the end of the day, can't blame it on the refs, even though the refs are a big part of what's going on right now. We need a backup point guard or a backup center. I think that will help, hopefully, at the trade deadline. 100%. I talked about this. I kicked this pod off with that. Jaden Ivey's missed. He's missed. He's definitely missed. You see it. All you got to do is watch what happens when K goes to the bench. The proof's in the pudding. We see it all. We see it every single game now when Jaden doesn't play. All right, let's get to the bench and we'll get out of here. So I gotta start with it, y'all. Y'all know what's coming. Y'all know what's coming. Simone Fontecchio. 4 points, 2 boards, 1 assist, 2 of 4 shooting, 0-2 from 3, 0-2 from the free throw line in 13 minutes. Okay. Okay. So I'll start with the good. He was active this game, right? He did have some offensive rebounds, things like that. And that's where it stops for me. He made so many crucial mistakes in that second half when he was in the game. There was a point in the game on back-to-back sequences in the third quarter. He got fouled, missed both free throws, and when he came back down the court on defense, KD got fouled on the next play. KD misses 2 rare free throws, which never happens. And Fontecchio does not box out properly at all. At all. Nick Richards, the guy who had 21 points and 10 boards, grabbed another offensive rebound and went up and got an and one. So instead of giving up just the 2 free throws to KD, you give up 3 points because Fontecchio didn't box out after he had just missed 2 free throws on the other end. Like, come on, bro. Like, he's hurting us so much. It's getting annoying because it's like every game he's hurting us more than he's helping us. He's hurting us much more than he's helping us. And it's becoming consistent now. I talk about it all the time. A lot of the leads the Pistons build in the first quarter, they dissipate by the end of the second quarter because the Pistons are just not effective off the bench. And I think Fontecchio is a big part of that. You can't, as a shooter, go 0 for 2 from 3-point and 0 for 2 from the free throw line. You got to at least knock your free throws down. So, I don't know, man. At this point, I want to give Paul Reed all of his minutes. Paul Reed and Bobby Klintman can take all of his minutes. Paul Reed, let's get to him. Since we're talking about Paul Reed, right? Man, this is so annoying. All right. So Paul Reed had 6 points, 3 boards, 2 assists, 1 block on 2 of 3 shooting, all 1 from 3, 2 of 2 from the free throw line in 8 minutes. That's a lot in 8 minutes. Paul Reed, man, he needs another look. Paul Reed needs more minutes. He stepped up in a major way tonight because both Isaiah Stewart and Jalen Duren were on foul trouble. They both had 3 fouls in the first half. It just wasn't pretty. And Paul Reed stepped up, man. He was effective on both sides of the ball. He was swatting shots. He was playing big on the boards. He was in a crowd. He was grabbing boards. He helped the Pistons close that second quarter strong. He needs more minutes, especially if our big guys are struggling early. I wouldn't hesitate now. I wouldn't give him an extra look. I would just as soon as you can tell those guys don't have it going, put him in the game immediately. Put him in the game because he deserves it. He deserves it. Every time he gets in the game, it's a plus. He's a plus player every time he comes into the game, right? So he's impactful. He seems to be a little bit more polished right now than JD, right? JD has a higher ceiling, but Paul Reed is just the better, more consistent player on both ends right now. So I think the Pistons need to give him another look. I do. I think they need to, even if he doesn't start, he needs more minutes. 100%. Paul Reed, shout out to you, bro. You continue to play well. Okay, let's get to Malik Beasley. Malik Beasley had 14 points, 2 rebounds, 1 assist, 2 steals, 1 turnover, 6 for 9 shooting, 2 of 5 from 3, 0 for 1 from the free throw line, 25 minutes. So a solid game from Beasley. Solid game from Beasley. Once again, bounce back game. This is the 3rd or 4th time now where he's followed a poor shooting game with a great shooting game. Like last game against the Pacers, I think he was 1 for 10. And every time he's had a bad game, 3 or 4 times this season, shooting the ball, he follows it up with a good game. So not only that, though, he made a lot of good plays tonight. Not just scoring, but facilitating. I talk about how J.I. is missed. He really made a lot of good plays facilitating for others. I have to give him credit. He and Tobias really helped the Pistons off the bunch stay afloat. And anytime we can get that kind of production from our guards, when Cade sits down, that's big. Because like I mentioned, Cade is the only real capable point guard right now with Jaden out. Sasser's getting better, right? But Sasser at his heart, at his core, is still a scoring guard. He's just learning how to be effective as a facilitator more and more when he's out there because the Pistons need it. But he's a bucket, right? So Beasley played solid. Beasley was solid. Let's get to Ron Holland. Ron Holland had 9 points, 2 boards, 1 assist, 1 steal, 3 of 6 shooting, 2 of 4 from 3-point, 1 of 2 from the free throw line in 16 minutes. So Ron Holland, his jumper continues to get better and better, and his confidence never wavers, which I love about him. I talked about Asar and how his confidence seems to have left him when it comes to the 3-ball. Not with Ron. With Ron, you got to pull him back some. You got to make sure, you got to take his finger off the trigger sometimes with him. He is not lacking in confidence at all. And I love that because he seems to understand that's what's going to keep defenses honest. Right now, he's a better shooter than Asar. Right? We know neither of them were great shooters coming into the season, but I don't I don't think any of us knew who was the better shooter between the two. And I think it's evident. I think it's clear to see Ron is a better shooter right now. Tonight when K had the ball in the post, you could see the lack of respect for Ron. You could see Coach Mike Budenholzer going like this, trying to get another defender to come over to double team K to come off of Ron, right? Not respecting Ron's shot at all. So, and Ron made him pay. He shot 2 of 4 from 3. So when he was open, he knocked him down. So even though he's not a great shooter yet, you have to force the defense to guard you. You can't be a liability. You can't allow them to play 4-on-5 or 5-on-4, right? So you got to shoot the ball when you're open. And tonight he was doing that. And to his credit, he got in the glass tonight too. He made some good plays offensively as well, facilitating. So Ron played solid, man. He played a good game tonight. This wasn't enough in the end for us to get the win. Who else? Okay, 2 more guys. Let's start with Stu. Stu had 3 points, 3 boards, 1 steal, 2 turnovers, 1 or 2 shooting, 1 or 2 from the free throw line, 16 minutes. So not a great night for Stu. He didn't really give us too much. Wasn't his most impactful game. Once again, he got in foul trouble. He and JD were both in foul trouble in the first half, and it kind of spewed over into the second half. So off night for Stu. Wasn't any lack of effort. It wasn't due to any effort. Just didn't have it tonight. Just wasn't effective, and happens sometimes. Especially when you get in foul trouble early, throws you out of your rhythm, really affects you. Last guy, Marcus Sasser, one of his better games of the season. 11 points, 4 boards, 2 assists, 1 turnover on 4 of 6 shooting, 0 of 1 from 3, 3 of 4 from the free throw line in 17 minutes. So this was one of Sasser's best games, man. Sasser is more and more beginning to become comfortable into the role he's going to play. But what I like about Sasser, man, is his defense. His defense, man, his effort defensively, man, I really love to see that. He's not a big guard. I think he's 6'2" at most. But whenever he's in the game, he is a pit bull, man. He reminds me of Lindsey Hunter, the way he gets after it defensively. I love to see that about him. And then offensively, too, man, he's getting buckets. He was getting buckets, man. 4 or 6 from the field. I'll take that. You know, he really is beginning to get more and more comfortable in this role, and I love to see that. His activity defensively, though, getting steals, getting out in the break, not afraid to mix it up and get in the paint. I just love his game. I love his game, man, and I think he's going to be okay. I think he's being put in a tough spot trying to play this role with J.I. out, but he's taking it like a pro. You know, he's taking it on the chin. He's taking his lumps, and I think he's going to continue to get better and better. So, overall, I'm still disappointed in this loss. But like I said before, this is the first back-to-back loss, first 2-game losing streak since last year, since early December 3rd. So I'm not happy with it, but the Pistons, you know, take it on the chin, move on to the next game. Next game is going to be tough against the Rockets on the road. This is why games like this are so important. When you're at home and they got guys out like Bradley Beal, you gotta win. You gotta win these games. So that's the game, man. I'm pretty much going to leave it there. I think we all pretty much are seeing the same thing. Yeah, those free throws hurt late. Fontecchio, it's time to put B-Ball Paul or Bobby Clipman in that spot. It's just time. I've been talking about this for I don't know how long, weeks now, maybe even months, about Fontecchio and just if he doesn't shoot the ball, if he's not shooting the ball, he's trying to put it on the floor and he's hurting the team. So, yeah, that's my take on that. Yeah, so I'll see you guys. What is that? When do they play next? I forgot the next game when they play. But whenever they play Houston, I'll be back for that. And we'll go from there. I'm going to get ready for the Lions content. Everybody be safe out there. It's going to be crazy downtown. So go out there, have fun. Right? Have fun. It's a home game. Go have fun. But be safe. Everybody be safe. And with that, I appreciate you guys hanging with your boy. And as always, Detroit versus everybody. Peace.